think about it like this too, emotionally stunted. If they've only found ever, just recently, I think in 2007, it was the first find of a chimpanzee fossil ever. And it was a tooth and found in 2007. They can't even find chimpanzee fossils, and we know that they outnumber humans. So if they can't find even their fossils, obviously finding a human fossil would be very, very hard. But at what you're looking at on my screen is actual evidence of dinosaur with man.
Well,
This was
that's an excellent point. Let me interrupt you, and then Matt, I want you to go back to what you're saying. Matt, I've got to interrupt you for a second, but
no
I
problem.
want you to continue what you're saying because I want to point something out. What you just said is fantastic.
Thanks.
Um, if chimpanzees and humans came from a common ancestor 2.4 million years ago, which is now the current number, they keep pushing it back. You know, 15 years ago, 25 years ago it was less than a million years ago. It was like 250 to 400,000 years ago. Now they're saying 2.4 million years possibly ago when humans and chimpanzees diverged from a common ancestor, right? Okay, so let's imagine that. Now, if that were true, how come there is no human and chimpanzee fossil found together in the same strata? Because they would have coexisted at some point during that transitionary period. And that's the point that Matt was just making. And it's an excellent point. Excellent point. Okay, so I'm done. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt. Please continue. That was a great point.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to think like, okay, well, they get so mad that the humans aren't being found, then obviously there should be evidence for this. So when you look for evidence, you have to go farther back as well because we're just looking for modern day things. And when you go into Google, obviously the old data is harder to find because they every month, every year, it's updated. It's what people want to review. But if you actually look at this was back in 1870, and this is in South Carolina, one of the largest dinosaur fossil beds that they've ever discovered. And inside of it is very interesting. If I take you over here and take you to page 65, what you're going to do is I'm going to send everybody this link right now. I'm going to first give it to everybody here in this chat, and then I'll give it to everybody watching right now on the side. And what this is in the Ashley phosphate bed is the first incident when they found man with dinosaur. And it starts, I believe, on page 65. What they did is the geologist went in and they wanted to excavate, and they were paid to go down and find what fossils were here, and they're investigating. And what they did is they dug underneath a tree and they found some arrowheads and they found human bones. But the strata that they were digging in was occupied by dinosaurs. So they said, obviously, this isn't true, and we don't want to lose our jobs. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw these in the river because we can't. This obviously can't be true. So they throw everything in the river. Well, when they kept digging down, they went lower and lower and lower. And guess what? They found more human bones with dinosaurs, with sharks, with goats, and modern day things all together because it's one of the largest dinosaur beds that you can find. They said, well, we can't hide it anymore. There's no reason we need to completely keep destroying evidence. So they finally released it to the public. And this is back in 1870. So nobody really knows about this. And I gave you guys the actual link to the
I've read about it.
Archives.
Yeah, it's astonishing. That is one of the earlier examples of evolutionists attempting to destroy the evidence for the flood of Noah by discarding it and destroying it, hiding it, taking it away, getting rid of it. They do this all the time. And they're still doing it today. There was an evolutionist that ran out to the Paluxy tracks of the human and dinosaur fossils in the numerous various layers. There's 2 layers of it in the Paluxy riverbed, and with a crowbar, and began smacking on them and banging on them with a crowbar to destroy them because he couldn't stand the idea that there was physical evidence to prove man walked with dinosaurs. So he was attempting to destroy it.
Well, I do want to ask, because that is some pretty extraordinary evidence there, and actually Matt's the first one to show me that too, which it's amazing. I would be curious, for one, what do the evolutionists say of this, and then emotionally stunted emoticon, what do you make of it? And if it is true and factual, and you can, I guess, source check that, what would that? What would you say to that? Would that be sufficient evidence for you, my man?
Right. So again, I'll have to check it out. But it said they found humans with dinosaurs in the same layer.
Well, I happen
Yeah.
to know a lot about those tracks. A lot. So if you want to
Right,
ask me about those tracks, ask me anytime.
So we'd have to investigate what caused the humans to be there. Remember, erosion and so on takes place where earth that was beneath can be exposed, and then the process happens again. So we need first to investigate how they were buried and so on. So yes, if it is true that they were buried by the same thing around the same time, then that would demonstrate that man lived
Can I say
with
something to you, emotionally stunted?
Why do we have a geology book? Leonard, did you throw a children's party while I was in Texas?
Wait, what's wrong with geology?
Let me put this in a way you'll understand, Penny. You remember how you explained to me that the Kardashians aren't real celebrities? Well, geology is the Kardashians of science.